Before we jump in, do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives on the business of women's sports, the WNBA offseason, and the moves that shift power. Then drop your take in the comments. Is Caitlin Clark redefining the game the smart way, or is the league at risk of losing control of its biggest star? Here's the headline that set the internet on fire. Caitlin Clark didn't let the paint dry on the WNBA season before cashing her next check. While half the league is still trading tweets about salaries, travel, and visibility, Clark locked in her first off-season job, and it's not a shoe deal or a commercial. It's corporate speaking. 6 figures per appearance. And the timing couldn't be more telling. According to multiple reports and booking listings, Clark is now commanding $100,000 and up to speak at corporate events. Sometimes more if it's a major stage or a custom engagement. That number sounds outrageous until you zoom out. This is the athlete who turned college basketball into appointment viewing, dragged women's hoops into mainstream conversation, and then became the most watched rookie in WNBA history. When she talks, audiences show up. When she plays, ratings spike. Big business noticed. What sets this apart is the category. These aren't random meet and greets or influencer panels. These are Fortune 500 conferences and premium leadership gatherings, ballrooms full of executives who decide budgets, build brands, and sign 7-figure checks without blinking. One recent listing even noted that Clark's virtual speaking fee starts at $100,000. Let that sink in. $100,000 to appear on a live stream and share the same leadership principles she uses to win on the court. Her next big stop. A featured session at the Long Island Association's Fall Conference, one of the East Coast's most established business events. This isn't a charity banquet. This is a paid corporate appearance at a luxury country club where deals are inked over coffee and calendars are carved months in advance. Clark will sit down with the association's president and CEO, Matt Cohen, for a conversation about her record-breaking rise, her leadership mindset, and how she's reshaping women's sports in real time. The date circled by business media, October 29th, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., New York. Here's where the optics get brutal for the league. The average WNBA salary hovers around $120,000. Clark can make that in a morning, under air conditioning, in heels and a blazer, talking about winning and culture to people who actually want to hear it. No elbows to the ribs, no back-to-backs, no referees swallowing whistles. Just applause, Q&A, and a wire transfer. Meanwhile, the commissioner's office is holding another urgent meeting about charter flights and collective bargaining. The contrast speaks for itself. It also explains why this storyline makes some players, and a lot of online voices, uneasy. Angel Reese has spent the past year leaning hard into the face of the league conversation. She's built a profile, amplified her fashion, sparred with critics, and cultivated a fan base. And fair play, there's room for more than one star. But when every headline keeps boomeranging back to Clark, her ratings, her deals, her draw, it's no surprise the market follows. That's not shade. That's just economics. One recent discovery poured gasoline on this fire. A top sports speaking bureau updated Angel Reese's listed fee to $100,000, right in line with the reports about Clark. Is that a coincidence? Is it a smart business play to match the market? Or a sign that this rivalry now extends into the boardroom? You tell me. The deeper point is simple. In a free market, star power sets the price. And right now, Caitlin Clark sets the price. What makes her so valuable to brands comes down to 3 things: reach, resonance, and reliability. Clark isn't just a WNBA storyline. She's a global brand. Kids in Europe copy her form. Fans in Asia stream her highlights. Parents in the Midwest buy jerseys for daughters who never watched a women's game until she gave them a reason. She transcends the league, something the WNBA has never truly had before. When one player's name becomes bigger than the logo, the power dynamic flips. Sponsors stop asking, "What's the WNBA doing this season?" and start asking, "When is Caitlin available?" That changes everything behind the scenes. TV networks don't need intermediaries when they can go straight to a star's agent. Brands don't need league approval when they can align with a clean, compelling message that comes pre-packaged with viewership. And for players who believed their place at the top was safe, it's a sharp reminder that legacy comes from production, not posts. Clark isn't waiting for the league to figure out its future. She's building hers. one microphone at a time. Consider the peer set: Serena Williams, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Their corporate speaking fees can range between $150,000 and $250,000 for major events. It's not hyperbole to say Clark is already in that conversation for specific audiences. She runs a panel the way she runs a fast break: focused, sharp, with the right pass at the right time. Corporate crowds respond the same way fans do from half court, with energy and buy-in. She's also not just selling basketball. She's selling usable leadership. Listen to how she frames her approach. I think the thing about leadership is how you approach every single person is going to be completely different. The thing that's helped me be successful throughout my career has been the relationships I've been able to build with people. Everybody's a little bit different. So I think that's what's unique about leadership, being able to understand people, but that takes time, and building relationships is really important. That's not fluff. That's the language of culture building. Pair that with her comments on mental health. At the end of the day, people forget we're human. We have therapists and sports psychologists. People don't see what's happening outside of the game. And you understand why HR leaders, CEOs, and brand chiefs want her on stage. She's an athlete who can speak to performance, pressure, and people. That's a rare triple threat. The obvious question: why not join the new off-season league, Unrivaled, launched by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart? Because she doesn't need to. That project is designed to give players additional income and exposure in the winter. Clark doesn't need either. Why risk injury in a side project when she can make the same money, or more, in an hour, while elevating her brand and building relationships with decision-makers? That's not arrogance. That's smart portfolio management. If you think this is just about image, look at the numbers. When Clark plays, ratings jump. When she sits, they slide. That's not hype. That's measurable. It's also why there's low-level panic in some corners of the league office about her operating independently. No WNBA logo on the step and repeat. No sponsor kickbacks. Just Caitlin, a microphone, and a fee. It's her economy now. The league is trying to stay relevant inside it. Some WNBA-aligned voices online are trying to tamp down the narrative. It's just one event, they say. But we've seen this movie. One event becomes 5. 5 becomes a circuit. And while that's happening, major brands quietly line up to place her name on their calendar. The irony is delicious. She's doing this in heels and a blazer, not sneakers and knee pads. To be clear, the point here isn't to diminish anyone else. Women's basketball needs Angel Reese, Aya Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, and a dozen other names the mainstream still hasn't learned to pronounce. But it also needs to be honest about what's happening. Caitlin Clark is the first women's basketball player in a long time, maybe ever, who's become bigger than the system trying to present her. She doesn't need the WNBA to create visibility. She gives it visibility, then takes that equity everywhere she goes. There's a more uncomfortable layer for critics. What happens if she decides she doesn't need to rush back? Imagine she takes a season to focus on brand building, philanthropy, media projects, and national speaking, a Netflix docuseries, a youth academy, expanded partnerships, campus to corporate tours. What would that do to ratings? To ticket sales? To sponsorships? She wouldn't lose a cent. The league would. That's real leverage. The difference between Clark and some of her loudest detractors is stark. She doesn't clap back at every slight. She doesn't broadcast every deal. She doesn't need to trend by starting a fight. She lets the work speak. Every time Forbes mentions her. Every time a speaking fee goes viral. Every time a broadcast number jumps when she's on screen. Professionalism becomes a superpower when you have the talent and the numbers to back it up. There's also the calendar twist that even a Hollywood writer would appreciate. Clark's Long Island appearance is scheduled for October 29th, 2 days before the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement expires. Picture this. While the league crowds into conference rooms to negotiate pay, travel, and media rights, the sport's biggest draw will be sitting under chandeliers in New York, telling CEOs about leadership, discipline, and building something bigger than a season. The optics write their own headlines. Some fans have asked why companies are calling Caitlin and not Angel Reese. The answer is simple and not personal. Brands follow attention and trust. Clark delivers both. She brings ratings and she brings a message that executives can put in front of their teams without fear of blowback. She's composed. She's clean. She's consistent. She shows up on time, speaks clearly, and avoids drama. That matters when someone is wiring 6 figures for an hour of your time. There's another part of this story we shouldn't ignore. The WNBA is getting what it asked for. For years, players demanded to be treated like the pros they are, to be paid for the attention they bring, and to control their narratives. Caitlin Clark is doing exactly that. Maximizing her value, refusing to be contained by old frameworks, and proving that independence can be more lucrative than reliance. You can argue about style. You can't argue with outcomes. If you're wondering why this matters beyond one off-season gig, here's why. This is a signal to every elite women's athlete coming up. Build your name, build your business, build your options. The league should embrace that reality, not fear it. Create flexible models that let stars be stars, profit-sharing, player-driven content, real brand collaborations, because the ones who can move the needle are no longer waiting for permission. It also doesn't mean Clark won't help lift the league. She already has. Every time she steps on the court, ticket sales jump. Every time she's mic'd up, highlights go viral. Every time she sits with a mic on a stage outside the arena, she expands the pie. The question is whether the WNBA can adapt fast enough to keep pace with a player who moves at CEO speed. So, what's next? Expect more of this. Expect her speaking calendar to fill. Expect more big stages, tech summits, leadership forums, global sports conferences. Expect brands to build campaigns around her beyond sneakers. Expect more whispers about a docuseries, youth academies, and content that lives on platforms the league doesn't control. And expect the discourse to keep buzzing every time a rival tries to match her fee or her momentum. Here's my bottom line. Caitlin Clark isn't just collecting checks. She's rewriting the playbook for women's sports. She's showing that independence beats insecurity and that substance outlasts noise. She doesn't need to call herself the face of anything. The market already decided that for her. And when she walks into that Long Island ballroom, poised, calm, perfectly prepared, everyone in attendance will understand. They're not just looking at an athlete. They're looking at a brand, a mogul, a movement. Why do you think companies are calling Caitlin Clark and not Angel Reese? Is this good for the WNBA, or a warning shot the league needs to hear? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Click the video on your screen for more on the WNBA's CBA clock, off-season power moves, and the business of being a superstar.